Alright viewers, welcome to the new review. It's finally here. Like I did say in the update video, it's no longer Cheap Ass Gamer. I'm not calling this Underdog's Review. Don't have an intro or a logo, so yeah, we'll use Cheap Ass Gamer logo for now. Yeah, this time we're reviewing Iron Grip Warlord. It's going to start out with a regular review, just like the Cheap Ass Gamer ones. Then right at the end, me and I'm going to get help from Melberic. We're going to discuss the game in depth. Not really in depth, it's more opinionated than a review. So I just want you to, let me know what you think of this idea, see if it works, and if it does, it'll be the new permanent format. Not sure if I'm going to stick with doing review on my own and then the double person or double person at all, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to waste any more time. Enjoy the review.
Originality is hard to come by in today's world, so a popular way to at least try to be original is to take two relatively unoriginal concepts and meld them together in hopes that what comes out feels whole, fun, and not entirely been there, done that. Iron Grip Warlord takes this mentality by merging first-person shooting with tower defense. It does go one step further by making this a co-op based game. Without a doubt, it does deserve respect for ambition. But is that all it gets, or is it actually a good game? Well, I doubt you'd be watching this if you knew the answer. One of the first things people will notice is that this game is on the Quake 3 engine. For a free game that would be great, but this is a commercial independent game, meaning you are expected to fork out cash. So that's kind of a risky thing. I will be honest with you though, if your thoughts are anywhere along the lines of any game on the Unreal, not on the Unreal 3 Crytek Modern Warfare engine is not worth my time, well, to put it simply, you're watching the wrong review series. This game actually makes really good use of the outdated engine, putting insane numbers of enemies on screen with no slowdown at all. Plus, some great graphical effects really make this the best looking game on the engine. And if you have seen my other reviews, namely the Nexus Cheap Ass Gamer one, you will notice that there's only one thing graphically required to win me over. And frankly, this game has some very pretty explosions. So, your task is simple. Protect your stronghold until the enemy's morale reaches 0. If your stronghold is destroyed, you don't instantly lose, but your morale drops significantly, and unless rebuilt swiftly, you will lose. Dying also decreases morale, but not quite significantly enough to say it will lose the game, so long as you keep the stronghold up. Enemies spawn in mobs at specific locations on the outskirts of the maps. These mobs will follow set paths in order to reach your stronghold, while the mob themselves will follow linear paths to the streets, in the streets. A few enemies do always break off and find shortcuts or vantage points or go within the buildings, which results in very unpredictable gameplay. On the easy difficulty, buying a decent gun and gunning down the hordes of enemies is adequate, but raising it even a single notch to normal will show you that this game is not intended to be a mindless run-and-gun shooter. You will have to utilize the game's RTS mode, which is where you build your towers. Every player in the game can build machine gun nests, which work wonders on infantry, and anti-tank guns, which obviously work well on the vehicles. Each turret is great against its specific targets, but one tank will wipe out all your machine gun nests, and the same can be said about a few infantry soldiers and anti-tank guns. These turrets can be upgraded at a cost, but whether it's better to upgrade or just to build more, it's up to you, and that's kind of part of the strategy of the game. Other than turrets, players can also place traps, which include tripwire bombs, which work as expected, acid traps, which will poison and kill infantry, but will be destroyed pretty quickly when run over by a vehicle, and explosive barrels, which do nothing until shot, in which case they will explode and cover everything around them in flames. Players can also place support stations, which give them health and ammo, and they can rebuild the stronghold should it be destroyed. Players can also buy things for their person, like new weapons and upgrades. Upgrades include extra health, more firepower, regeneration, increased spawn speed, and things like that. Having to spread your funds between equipping and upgrading yourself and building defenses results in some very strategic decisions, especially of course in the multiplayer co-op games. Does everyone build defenses? Does one person buff up to fight while the others build? Or maybe only one person builds while everyone else buffs up? There's a lot of decisions to be made in this regard. Also, the tanks and officers enhance the strategic teamwork much more. An officer will appear from time to time, and for as long as he's in the game, the enemy morale increases. Therefore, it is ideal to hunt him down and kill him. And also, the enemy, once he dies, the enemies will lose morale. So obviously having a player or a team of players buff up to be officer hunters helps. And the tanks. Some tanks aren't that big a deal. If you know how to deal with them, you can usually get them before they get to your defenses. Or just using the right defenses. But then there's the mortar walkers. When they come in, basically you have to be much more careful. One loose mortar shot can decimate your entire defenses, which means you'll be wanting to take these out long before they get within range, or spreading out your turrets, which might decrease their effectiveness. I feel there's a lot left to talk about, but this review has gone on quite long enough, so I will conclude the review by saying I'm a huge fan of co-op shooters. However, depth tends to be lacking in games based on co-op, like Left 4 Dead, for example. If you do feel like me, then I think you owe it to yourself to try the free demo of Iron Grip Warlord at least. Unfortunately, it does get difficult to get a good co-op game in, as although there's plenty of servers up, they are rarely populated. However, should you solo for a few minutes on any server, somebody does usually join up. If, however, you have someone you can LAN with or coordinate online meetings, this game will show its true beauty. Because there's very little out there that's more rewarding than working out a plan outside of the game, implementing it, and finally beating that damn level after 2 hours of failing over and over again.
Before I begin the next part with me and Milberic, I would like to warn you that it is not PG-13. It contains explicit content, swearing, sexual references, so if you're offended by that, you know, you've seen the review, you can turn off now. Otherwise, enjoy. Again, let me know what you think.